It's hard to believe Christmas break is just around the corner, and that means most students will be taking their midterm finals coming up in just a few weeks. We know that pressure in my house. So how can you be sure that your kids, your high schoolers, even your college kids are ready for those tests? Dan Koken from Denver Test Prep here with some important advice for us. This is a stressful time of year, not just for the kids, but for the parents who are worried for the kids too. So if we're preparing early so we don't face the cramming the night before, what tips do you have for families?
Absolutely. So I think, at this time of year, a lot of what we do is some academic coaching and academic tutoring to help students get ready for final exams. And one of the first things we recommend is that students, this next week is a great time to do it. Go and talk to your teacher and find out what will the structure and content of that final exam be. That way you can get started early figuring out how best to prepare.
So are you asking specifics like, is it going to be multiple choice? Am I going to have to write an essay? Those types of questions to your teacher?
Absolutely, because I think you're going to study for a multiple choice exam in a very different way than you might for an essay test.
Okay, good. So talk to the teacher.
Yep.
Form that relationship early on. What else? Second tip you have?
I know this is a tough sell for teenagers, but start early. If you have multiple final exams coming up, there's no way you can handle it all at the last minute. Great thing for parents to do with their kids at this point in the process is to get a plan in place. When will you study? How will you study for each of those tests?
Even where will you study?
Absolutely.
Are you going to study in your room? Are you going to study at the kitchen table? Or you have all of that down too?
That is absolutely true.
Okay, third tip that you have, form a study group. Why is this important?
Yeah, so this is a really effective way for you to get information from other students in the class that you trust about what could possibly be on the test. Now, one word of caution, we all have that friend who's a ton of fun, but isn't the best person to study with, not the right person in your study group. But go with the main aim of figuring out everything that could possibly be on that test and use your friends to help you figure out what that might be.
What's a good study group? 2 to 3, 4?
Yeah, I'd say 3 to 5 students is usually a great way to go with that.
And then have some structure with the study group too.
Absolutely. Structure, and again, as you mentioned, location, make sure you're in a place where you'll actually study.
Good. Okay. Next, for your fourth tip, get quizzed. What's the best way to quiz? There are a lot of online quizzes you can use now, but what do you recommend?
Absolutely. And I think this is the most important one for students because this is where we see a lot of students struggle. Now, what you really want to do, if your teacher is nice enough to give you a study guide, what you want to do is convert that into a quiz or final exam that you can do for practice. Also, in that study group, you guys can put together a mock test that you can keep doing repeatedly. Group, great for building the test, but you've got to invest the time on your own to show that you can produce the material before test day.
Fantastic. Okay, fifth and final tip.
Yep. Well, this one I can personally relate to as the proud dad of a 3-month-old baby girl is get some sleep. You will do better on your final exams if you come in rested.
You can't think if you don't sleep, but if you haven't studied ahead of time, you're not going to sleep. So it all starts now.
Yep. Get started this week.
All right. Thanks so much for the tips. We know how important it is, and we know that the anxiety can go along with it too. So all of this helps with that.
Absolutely.
All right. Almost 8 o'clock.